Everything, everything you have heard until now has brought you to this point. This is the season, or rather, the series finale of the first volume of Patrolhead. Sit back, hit the subscribe button and the notification button for more. And let's get into it. We get a glimpse into the mind of the Big O. We learned he was part of a unit of administrators designed to protect the interest of humanity's cities that were left. As a test, all administrators were given one human prisoner that they had to care for a period of time to see if they could keep him alive as long as possible. And the Big O, he had his own human, and his own human was a desperate prick. Throughout his whole process, this human kept pleading, "Let me out. Outside looks so nice, and we know the outside is poisonous, is certain death." He begged, he cried, and all of a sudden, he died. He was set free. All the people watching over this exam, they were surprised. It's only been an hour, wondering which of the administrators had let his human die. All of them snitched. Bruh. Back in the present though, Hybrid was tweaking out. He had to go face to face against his biggest rival. He had to face the SuperCarStar, and she was lethal. He was tweaking out so bad he couldn't stop talking. It was ridiculous. He even said she's attractive, but Patrolhead had to smack him senseless. Like, bro, wake up. You could be her. She isn't better than you in everything. And he remembers that she is not so good at breaking. And that refueled his confidence. He went like, yeah, I could beat her. So Big Man tore off his apron, hopped in his whip, and demanded a race. While this was going on, Lupa was trying to realize how they were tracking them. Maybe they were tracking the signal of the nanotech. But more on that later. The hybrid had challenged SuperCarStar, and once challenged, you have to accept the race, and you have to race to the death. But before he went off, Patrolhead made sure to collect the info on the other car, and the other car was pathetic. But he didn't need it for the speed. Hybrid and the SuperCarStar went to race, and they used this opportunity to head in low, quiet, to exactly where they needed to be. The elevator that was going to take them to the main city, where they could release the flies that was supposed to fix the atmosphere. But before they could even set off, they heard a big boom. The race was over. Someone had lost, and honestly, they knew who. But right now, their main focus was leaving, so they needed a route. Asking their AI, he provided them with the best route, knowing full well the city will be on lockdown looking for her. He hacked into the systems and found a platform that was perfect. So they set off on their journey. No speed, no stress, just smooth sailing, just not to get caught. The only problem was, this area was so toxic, no human could live here, so it was strictly bots, and the atmosphere used to burn. But they needed confirmation this was the right place. Someone had to go check, and that someone had to be a flyer. Thankfully, they had a flyer. He didn't want to do it, but this mission took priority, so he set off into the clouds that was basically burning his skin. Lupa had to assure Patrolhead he'll be good, but he wasn't good. Every second in this toxic atmosphere was burning him alive. Every second was melting his parts. He had to scan, but thankfully, him and Patrolhead shared a vision. They were one and the same. He was just an extension of Patrolhead, and thankfully he found a platform, but he wasn't watching his back. He landed carelessly, and a gigantic robotic arm snatched him up. In his last seconds of life, he saw this person, and so did Patrolhead. This was the person Patrolhead wanted dead above all else. With his eyes glowing red, he saw it was the Big O that crushed his beloved partner. And that is not all the Big O has taken from him. He also took his job, because he introduced a jump that everyone was supposed to pass if they wanted to race, but he was not even allowed to jump. Why? Because even his betters have failed. He wanted a reason though. Why can I not jump? So they gave him 4. You're heavy. you're ugly. Every inch of you is outdated and badly designed. And the fourth, well, I don't like you. He made sure to clock the guard, but he wasn't still allowed to jump. He was pissed off. How dare you say I can't fly? And that is why he made his best buddy. And now you have taken him from me. Now I need my revenge. The big O didn't give a shit. He was just here for the nanotech. Lupa was never going to give it to him. She had a mission to complete. He said, bruh, stop playing little girl. Give me the nanotech and I will tell you where your mother is. Before she could even react, our boy Patrol had said, no, you killed my friend. The big O replied he was just a robot. The city is all. Now, give me the nanotech. Lupa wanted to run, but he didn't. He wanted to fight. Sadly for him, the big hoe had muscle, and she was here with gifts. As she whined down the window, she tossed him something. We see this is the head of Hybrid. He was like, my bad, bro. I couldn't be her. Lupa, realizing they could never run away from her, she dropped the nanotech like, damn, we can't escape. And even the big O is like, you could never escape, making all the elders laugh. But Patrolhead was quiet because he had a plan. He cheats. From nowhere, his car pulls up. The chief, missing a tire. The O was not impressed, like, bruh, this pathetic vehicle. What do you think you're going to do with this? I have the SuperCarStar. He wasn't even worried about that. He just picked up Hybrid's head and went into his car. And he got permission to gun it from Lupa. And they took off. Now, you would think he was going to run away, but that was not his style. He was just going to turn around, and he came flying back with no fear, heading directly for the SuperCarStar. And he crashed into her, climbing above her armor and using it as a ramp. He had a goal. Not only did he take out half of the forces brought before him, he gained access to the control panel for the lift, and he went up. They tried to stop him, they tried to shoot, but it was already done. He was already off. And even while being shot at, Lupa ran out, trying to save something. And she ran back into the car. He was losing his shit, like, what the hell is wrong with you, human? And she simply opened her arms to reveal what she went to save. He was his buddy, his other half. He showed his gratitude, and they finally got to the top. Now, all they had to do was leave the city and release the nanobots, but that was easier said than done because now they had to cross through the real O, the O-Zone, one of the last remaining cities in the world. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Stick with us, hit the subscribe button, and come back when we have more, because I promise you, we will have more.